Welcome back to our channel, Learn Best Things with Rama. Today, we are going to discuss about an interesting topic in the 4th chapter of 10th class biology, that is excretion, and today's topic is structure of nephron. And you people studied about kidneys. What is the structural and functional unit of a kidney? Yes, that is nephron. It is very important to know the structure of nephron. Then let's have a look. The nephron is mainly made up of three important parts. What are that? The first one is called as renal capsule or Malpighian body. Or renal capsule. And the second one is called as renal tubule. And the third one is collecting duct. Or collecting tube. Whatever you want, you may call it collecting tube or collecting duct. The nephron is made up of three important parts. What are that? Malpighian body or renal capsule. The second one is renal tubule and the third one is collecting tube or duct. Then listen to me, the first part, renal capsule. What is renal capsule? This renal capsule contains two important parts. What are that? In that, the first one is Bowman's capsule. This part, the cup-shaped broader end of the nephron. The cup-shaped broader end of the nephron is called as Bowman's capsule. And this Bowman's capsule is lined with a squamous epithelial tissue. And this squamous epithelial layer contains a special variety of cells. Those are called as podocytes. What we are calling? Podocytes. And these podocytes, they just maintain a little gap between them. Okay. Between the podocytes, we can able to find some, by the help of microscope, we can find some small pores, tiny pores. Okay. These pores acts like a filtration unit. For the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is lined with a thin layer of squamous epithelial tissue, and this tissue contains a special variety of cells. Those cells are called as podocytes, and these podocytes, they just maintain a little gap between them. Those pores acts like a filtration unit. Okay. Then here, the Bowman's capsule also contains a bunch of fine blood capillaries. Inside this cap is called as glomerulus. Okay, glomerulus. The renal capsule or Malpighian body is made up of two important parts. What are that? The first one is Bowman's capsule and the second one is glomerulus. The cup-shaped broader end of the nephron we are calling as Bowman's capsule, and a bunch of fine blood capillaries we are calling as glomerulus. This glomerulus and Bowman's capsule together called as Malpighian body. Okay, Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together called as Malpighian body. This glomerulus is just formed from an afferent arteriole. What is meant by arteriole? Arteriole means it is a branch of blood vessel which is formed from the artery. That is arteriole. Afferent arteriole forms the glomerulus, and it just ends with another arteriole called as efferent arteriole. It starts with afferent arteriole and it ends with efferent arteriole. If you find these two afferent and efferent arterioles, The diameter of efferent arteriole is less than afferent arteriole. Because of that, here we may find some blood pressure may created inside the globulus. It leads to the filtration, which we are going to discuss in the next session. Okay, that is about Malpighian body. And this Malpighian body just prolongs with another part that is called as renal tubule. The renal tubule, it contains three important parts. What are that? In that, the first one is proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubule, PCT. Proximal convoluted tubule. This part is called as proximal convoluted tubule, and the part which is U in the shape is called as loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. That is the second part. After the loop of Henle, here we are able to see DCT. Distal convoluted tubule. Here P means proximal. What is the meaning of proximal? Proximal means near. Convoluted means twisted. Tube-like structure. A twisted tube-like structure which is very near to the Bowman's capsule is called as PCT. Okay. A twisted tube-like structure which is very near to the Bowman's capsule is called as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. And this proximal convoluted tubule, it just continues with a U-shaped tube. And this U-shaped tube is called as loop of Henle. This loop of Henle connects the PCT and DCT. Okay, it just joins the PCT and DCT. What is meant by DCT? Distal convoluted tubule. A twisted tube-like structure. Here distal means far away from the Bowman's capsule. Okay, that is called as distal convoluted tubule. Distal means far. Distal convoluted tubule. Okay, and here what is the function of PCT? Here, reabsorption takes place. Reabsorption takes place in the PCT, and here what happens? Tubular secretion happens in the DCT. And here it just acts like a loop of Henle. It acts like a connecting pathway between PCT and DCT. Next, the third important part of renal tubule is collecting duct. The collecting duct, it just connects with different varieties of nephrons, different number of nephrons. Okay, this one is the collecting tube. It collects everything from the nephron. Okay, this is the structure of a nephron. I think you understand what is a structure of the nephron. Here, one more important point, that is about peritubular network. Peritubular network or capillary network. We call this part as capillary network, peritubular network. It just formed from efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole, it just covers the all parts of the nephron. Okay, the efferent arteriole, it just forms branches, and these branches, they just covers all the parts of the nephron. That net-like structure is called as capillary network, peritubular network. It just formed by the efferent arteriole, and it also joins with the venules present in the kidney. Okay, all the venules, very small branches of the vein, they just join to form renal vein. All the venules of the kidney just together to form renal venule. The combination of arteries, the small arteries and veins means venules, which are formed from efferent arteriole, just forms a network, and that network is called as peritubular network. It covers the entire part of the nephron. This is about the structure of nephron, and here we are calling the nephron as uriniferous tubule. In the next session, we are going to discuss about the mechanism of urine formation. Till then, stay tuned to our channel. Thank you for watching.